Hey y'all, it is Jacy Girl, and welcome to the Cozy Niche. I already kind of got my stuff going over here, y'all. I'm trying to make sure that I am. So when you see me looking here and then you see me look over here real quick, it's because I got something over here off to the side. So I want to make sure that I am seeing you guys and you guys are seeing me. Welcome to the Cozy Niche. It is the end of June. It is the last Monday here in June. Y'all, it is official. We have officially made it through the first half, okay, of 2022. And what I was expecting to have happen, okay, y'all, was to actually have this particular conversation before the end of the month is really what I was aiming for. But to be totally honest with you guys, what I wanted to have happen was I wanted there to be like a roundtable type of discussion that was going to be happening, okay? And with it being a roundtable type of discussion that was going to be happening, I want men to be a part of the discussion because this is what we're talking about. We are talking about a safe place for men, okay? So before we get into all of what the conversation is going to be like, of course, welcome into the room. Hello there, Miss Lynn Davidson. Thank you so much for tuning in, darling. I surely do appreciate you tuning in this evening. Hello there, Miss Arnika Bestie. How you doing? Thanks so much for tuning in this evening, darling. So I'm going to let you guys know, share, tag it, tag a man, tag a male. Because tonight, ladies, what we are doing is that we are putting on our listening ears so we can be able to hear these men and exactly what it is that they are struggling with, what they are dealing with, because we are just seeing more and more things pop up more and more amongst the males, okay, amongst the men, okay? And so one of the ways that I want us to be able to kind of get ahead of the curve is that we need to sit down and dialogue. Most of the times it is a whole lot of miscommunication, misunderstanding, not really hearing what's being said. So I will tell you guys one of the great things that I learned in counseling and therapy, okay? That's right, this girl has done counseling. That's right, this girl has done therapy. Ain't nothing wrong with it neither, okay? But I digress, it ain't about me. But I will tell you about a tool that I did pick up and learn in therapy, okay, in counseling. And that was generally when you're saying something, okay, you need to actively be able to hear and listen. So you hear with your ears, but to listen is to listen with intent and not intent to go ahead and quickly give a reply or a rebuttal or you got something to say on it, but it is to pay attention to what they're actually saying. And so then when you're holding a discussion with someone, okay, so you're talking and you're holding what they call the tile. You're holding the tile and you're saying what it is that you're saying, okay? And don't make it a long dissertation, all right? So you're not making a long dissertation. It makes it very, very easy to be able to say, okay, the way that I felt when you did X, Y, and Z, that made me feel like A, B, C, D, okay? And then you do what? Pass the other person the tile. So they can say, okay, I heard you say that when I do this, it makes you feel like that. Okay. So that's what we mean by passing the tile. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and jump over here into the comments. Let's see. Deshaun Watts says, I'm here. Thanks so much for tuning in, son. I totally appreciate you popping on for your mama this evening because we need some more men in the house. So y'all go ahead and start tagging people because this is what we want to do. Okay, let's see. Arnika says, oh, let me grab mine out my purse. She's a mess, y'all. She's a mess. All right. And then she also said, I listen with the notepad so I can repeat what I thought I heard. Now that is good. That is good because you know what? I actually had this situation take place. And since Deshaun is here, he can be able to go ahead and, weigh on in and say whether or not that this is true. But back in 2017, he came to visit and there was a lot of different things that was going on. And then he called me up and he was like, you know what, mama, I felt like there was a lot of things that needed to be said, things that needed to be addressed that didn't. And it's still kind of weighing on me. And so I want to be able to talk about it. And so I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. Cause there definitely was some stuff that, I want you to be able to get off your chest. And I felt like that there were some things that needed to be said. And so when that conversation took place between himself, someone else, and it was the situation that needed to be there, I had a pen and a paper ready because I didn't want to interrupt him while he was talking. I wanted him to be able to fully get out what it was that he was saying and let him know that I am hearing. So I wasn't just listening. I wasn't just hearing with my ears. You'll hear me use the two interchangeably. Just know that I got my ears on, but then I was also paying attention to what he was saying, not to rebuttal, but to hear what it was that he was actually saying. And where I was wrong, I definitely took ownership. It was like, yeah, you're right. That was foul. That was foul. That was wrong. Because guess what? Parents, we don't always get it right. We be wrong. Okay. Your parents was wrong too. Okay. Not on everything, but yeah, definitely on some things. Our parents were wrong. We were wrong. And I can honestly say that was a conversation that I had with my kids. So let's do some housekeeping while I go ahead and get this going. Okay. So obviously tonight, y'all, we are talking about relationship. This is part of the relationship pillar. And this is a safe place for men, part 1, because this is not going to be the end of the discussion. It cannot be the end of the discussion because I'm here. Okay. And this is, I'm woman, baby. I'm all female. Okay. All woman up over here. But I want to hear from men. I want the men to speak to this because men establish. Okay. Men establish. Men call things forward. They call things forth. Okay. That is what men do. And it is important for us to be able to have our men speak and for us to be able to hear and to listen. Okay. So of course I'm going to go ahead and, talk to you guys about where you can shop. JerseyGirl-CozyNiche.com. I got some new stuff coming out, y'all. I got some great stuff. So y'all just make sure that you jump on over there so you can go ahead and see all the wonderful things that I have. I was a vendor at this past weekend at Lounge on Lions. That's right. Lounge on Lions. Yeah. And I was able to sell some aprons and some other things too, and some hats and stuff like that. So y'all make sure that y'all go ahead and jump on over there. Obviously, you guys know that there are 7 pillars to Jersey Girl Cozy Niche: home decor, DIY projects, relationships, which we are in tonight, personal growth, development, craft/cooking. Yeah, you already know how that goes. So tonight we are talking about our relationship pillar. And it is important for us to go ahead and get to that. Okay. And I will make sure that I put, the contact numbers for our men up. So then that way they know what numbers they can be able to reach out to and how they can be able to communicate should they need help for anything. Okay. So Deshaun says, all facts. We collectively cleared the air as a team and issues were properly addressed. Boom. There you go. So that was great. I definitely appreciate that. And then, of course, we got Aunt Lemon in the house. Hey, Aunt Lemon. Thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. And if you can get Choir Yuri on, that would be good too. So then that way they can listen, they can chime in. Well, I want them more than just listen. I want them to be able to chime in too. So y'all make sure y'all start tagging people into the room because I want us to go ahead and talk about it. Okay. So I'm going to talk from a mama's point of view right now. Okay. And so again, because I want you guys to start introducing men into the equation, and I want the men, I'm going to be highlighting the men, the males, and what they have to say in regards to it. Mamas, when we give birth to our baby boys, okay, all right, our baby boys, we're loving on them, right? We're cuddling them. We got them dressed. We want them smelling good, okay? You taking care of that umbilical cord, and baby, if they circumcised, okay, all mine was, okay. You are making sure that you are changing that dress and you're making sure you put an ample cream down there because the last thing you want is for your baby to be screaming, okay, because of the procedure that took place, because there's no protection there. So you're slathering on the cream, okay, you putting the gauze there and you're making sure that you are taking care and cleaning that area. So I'm just saying that we are all engrossed when it comes down to our baby boys to make sure that we are cleaning their umbilical cord. And if they had a surgery, that we're taking care of them. We are attentive to that. Then let's go ahead and shoot it on over when it's time for them to go to the doctors and get their shots. Okay. It don't feel good to watch your child getting poked and prodded with a darn needle, but you also know that it's necessary, okay, to go ahead and make sure that all the tests are being run and that everything is okay with them, okay? And then what happens? When that baby gets pricked, do you tell the baby, suck it up, stop crying, because it's a boy? Oh, you'll get over it, man up. No. Oh, you get the crying, you want to hurry up and scoop them up. Oh, baby, it's okay. Oh, mama, no. Oh, all the sugars, all the kisses, all trying to make them feel better. You're giving them the Tylenol, right? You're trying to make sure that, you're giving them, some pops if you can, the Pedialyte pops or just, the little shot things when they're teething. And they're crying because their gums are uncomfortable, it's itching, it's swollen. Do you tell your baby boy, suck it up, get over it, you a man, you're going to have to face this world, this rough world, and you ain't no need of you crying? No, we don't do that. You still put the Ambisol on it, don't you? I know I did. Stuck it in the freezer, okay? Because it felt good on their gums, okay? Because it was cold. But that numbing, So we soothed them. So at what point in time then do we just stop doing that? Have we been conditioned to tell them to stop doing that? When we get tired, when we get frustrated, I'm being honest with me. Like, I don't want to hear that doggone crying. And it ain't just because he's a boy. I don't want to hear all that doggone crying. But we allow them to have their emotions when they're babies, but then we begin to tell them to bottle it up. Then where's the outlet? But do we do that to the girls? Do we do that to our daughters? Tell them, suck it up, girl. I don't know what you're crying about. You're going to end up getting a menstrual at some point in time. It's going to hurt. You're going to end up giving birth at some point in time and it's going to hurt. So it's a part of life. Just get ready for it. No. And so when they're toddlers and they fall down and they hurt themselves, we clean their boo-boos, we kiss their boo-boos. We want to give them, kisses and, maybe a popsicle or something to kind of take away and ease the pain a bit. But there's something that happens when it comes down to our boys. When that happens, we don't allow them to have that outlet anymore. It doesn't mean that the emotions have gone away. They're still there. So how do they deal? How are they supposed to get it out? How are they supposed to be able to express their sadness, their disappointment, their anger, their frustration, and just them not knowing how to do, what to do? And if there is no male figure in the home, who then are they modeling themselves after? Who do they have to turn to? Who can they go and look to when it comes down to those kind of things? Then let's go ahead and talk about because as a woman, I can be able to relate to my daughter, okay, and what it means to be a woman to a girl. But when it comes down to being a man, that was something I was definitely concerned about, with my son, before, my status had changed at that point in time, where it was like, okay, who he gonna turn to? Well, thank God, for my brother, his uncle, and also his godfather, that he had him there. And it was just like, okay, teaching him how to go in the bathroom, use the bathroom. I sit down, people, I don't stand up. So it's like, to go in the bathroom with him, to teach him how to do that. I mean, I threw the Cheerios inside the toilet. Okay, it was like, try to aim and dunk them. You know what I'm saying? Try to aim and dunk them. But when it came down to my second one, I was like, Deshaun, take your brother in there with you. I done already did this. Not that he didn't have it because he had his potty and all that other good stuff. But it was like, okay, it was important for me to make sure that my sons had a model to be able to look to. So it was equally important before my status changed that my oldest son had that. And like I said, I thank God that he did. So I want you guys to make sure that you're interacting in the comment section, because I'm going to put some information up here. And I want you guys to tell me exactly how you feel about this particular statement. So I'm about to make a statement, okay? And I want you guys to tell me how you feel about this statement. Ready, set, go. Research shows that men and women become angry at approximately the same frequency. The same frequency, okay? But men tend to express their anger outwardly and in more aggressive ways, like yelling, hitting, swearing, okay? In that sense, men are more likely to have anger issues than women are. Now, how is that? Does that mean that women don't yell, hit, and are swearing? Doesn't mean that. It says at the same time, though, suppressing anger has consequences too, and other negative emotions such as stress, physical health problems, etc. So this information, this quote that I'm reading is coming from a Dr. Ryan Martin, a professor of psychology and associate dean for the College of Arts, of Humanities, and Social Sciences. And I got this from the Choosing Therapy Better Health website. So tell me what you guys kind of feel about that statement. Do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it? That's kind of what I want to know. And then we'll kind of move on from there. So don't feel like you can't comment. Of course you can. I want you guys to make sure that you do comment. I'm just over here making sure that I'm doing housekeeping over here to say hey to everybody, okay? One of the areas in regards to the hitting, yelling, screaming, cursing, a lot of times our boys tend to get labeled difficult in class. I can be able to speak in regards to my middle guy when he was younger, way younger, very, very intelligent. It was almost like you can see the wheels turning in his head. Like he knew how stuff was supposed to go, but he didn't have the fine motor skills. He had the large motor skills, but it required fine motor skills in order to get some of those things to go. And I can see that he knew what he wanted it to do, but he couldn't get it to go that way. And so his way of dealing with it was that he would just throw stuff and just get angry and flip and turn stuff over, And so it's like, this is one of the things that I'm talking about, is that he wasn't able to go ahead and express himself because he knew how he wanted it to look, but he wasn't able to get it out for proper expression. Let me go ahead and show what Deshaun said. Deshaun says, today's modern men, unfortunately, have been conditioned by society to be desensitized to their emotions, especially as it relates to expressing to their significant other. Expression of any kind, of any sign, weakened emotion is viewed as a weakness, and we are forced by choice to result in the explosive emotions to assert dominance. Now, please be advised that this is not all men, but this is the world we live in. Thank you so much for bringing this part to light, Deshaun. I appreciate that. And I would have to say, I agree with what you're saying. That, yeah, desensitized. Very true. And how does it feel when you try to express yourself and you're not being heard? Like he said, it leans over into that explosive in order to exert dominance. So having these discussions is beneficial, to give space, to be able to say, yeah, we got to be able to realize that just because they're male, it doesn't mean they're not human. That's a dead ringer right there. Just because they are male does not mean they are not human. So they're entitled to every single emotion that we as women are, and have the freedom to be able to express without much of backlash. I'm just going to be honest. We can cry and, we're not looked at or viewed as weak. It's like, oh, and she cried. And we're like, oh my gosh. But if a dude cried, then it's like, oh, what was he crying about? Oh, he must, weak. No. Actually, it displays a great amount of strength to be able to cry, to be able to release that emotion, that outcry. So let's see. Karen Washington said, I agree, Deshaun. Yeah, that was definitely powerful. I would also like to say, hey there, Laura. Hey, girl. Thanks so much for tuning in. I would also like to be able to, for us to go ahead and take a look at something that Deshaun mentioned in here in regards to the explosive and the assertiveness. A lot of times when we think about domestic violence, we are only thinking about the women's side of it. We don't hear too often about the men who are being abused by women. We don't. It doesn't make them any less of a man. Because if you've been taught, like I've taught my boys since they were younger, that you don't hit a girl. You do not put your hands on a woman. Okay. The best thing that you can be able to do is restrain her, but don't you hit no girl. You know, I felt bad because I was just like, he ain't got no sisters. You know, he got to be able to defend himself. So I'm like, you got to hold her or something, but you don't hit a girl. You know what I'm saying? And so if that's something that's been inbred the whole time, that you don't hit a woman, you don't hit a girl, but meanwhile, she's coming after you and hitting you. And it's like, okay, so you're going to be hit by her. And that's what has been happening. And like Deshaun said, to have that voice put out there, it's like they're going to be viewed as what? Them being ashamed to be viewed as less of a man. And they are not. They are not. It is not right for a man to put his hands on a woman, just like it's not right for a woman to put her hands on a man. Let's read what Deshaun has to say. I personally have opened up to others, and my words, emotions have been used against me in the heat of an argument to hurt me. Thank God for my resilience, but understand not all men are that strong to continually take that abuse day in and out and keep our head high. Wow. Yes. Nobody likes to be victimized like that. If they're going to open up, if a man is going to open up and let you in and tell you about how he's feeling and what he's going through, don't use that against them. I've been in a situation where I have done that, and I can admit that I have done that myself. Was it right? No, it wasn't right. Because then what message did that send out to the male, to the man? Not a safe place. I can't tell you nothing, because then you'll just end up using that against me. Because truth of the matter is that doesn't feel good. If I confided something in you and I was vulnerable to you, why would you take that very thing and throw it up in my face and use it against me? Because women, would you like, if that was the case, of what would happen to you? And especially for a man to go ahead and let down his guard like that, to allow us in that sacred space, in that safe place, in that place where he felt like he can be able to, all right, I'm gonna go against my better judgment. I'm gonna go ahead and let you in. I'm gonna go ahead and share this with you. To then later on have that thing like, whoosh, and it's just like, oh, whoa, hold up, wait a minute. I didn't give you that. I didn't tell you that for you to turn around and do that to me. But now I see how you move, and now I'm gonna pull back. So I want to be able to hear from us men outside of this great bit of information that Deshaun has shared with us. Thank you so much, Deshaun, for being open and transparent and, putting down in the comments, giving us exactly what it is that we need to hear as a man in the comment section. Okay. What we need to be able to hear. How can we be able to better assist you men in these different areas when you're opening up and you're being vulnerable? Okay, we know one of those things is not to go ahead and throw up and to the man's face something that he shared in confidence and something where he was being very vulnerable. Step one. That is step one. So let me make sure I get on over here and I run these banners for you guys, because I want you guys to be able to know that there is a place where you guys can be able to go. So in regards to any men that may be suffering with domestic violence and need assistance and need help, help is available for you as well. You're able to contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. Again, that number, it is scrolling across the screen, as you can see. 1-800-799-7233. Okay. There is another number that you are also able to utilize as well, and that is Safe Havens Hotline, and they can be reached at 1-877-701-7233. Both of these are hotlines for men that they can be able to call and be able to receive some resources and assistance should they need it. I encourage you guys to be able to, and I'm going to have this, scrolling across the bottom, because I want you guys to be able to have these numbers and be able to share these numbers and utilize them if you need to. This is Jersey Girl, and I thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. I truly appreciate everybody in the comment section. Thank you so much to Deshaun Watts, my firstborn, my son, who came on and was being open and honest as a man in the comment section and engaging and letting us know, ladies, this is an area that we can be able to work on. So then that way we can be able to be better partners together. We are all part of the human race, y'all. Ain't but one race, and it's the human race, okay? And it's important for us, men and women, to be able to get along. We ain't talking about whatever shade you are. We're talking about male and female being able to come together and get along. So it is Jersey Girl, and I thank you guys so much for tuning in. So it is time to go ahead on and end this out. Wraps it up for this edition of Jersey Girl Cozy Niche. Thank you guys so much for rocking out with us. Make sure that you hit that bell, the notification bell, so that way you can be notified every single time I go live or upload a new video. Because the YouTube channel is where you get your steak, potatoes, desserts, and drinks, baby.